Are you tired of struggling with memorization and looking for a game-changing approach? Well, today, we're diving into how to memorize way faster and easier. 8 tips to memorize like a pro. But before we jump in, make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay updated on more content like this. Let's get started. Tip 1. Understand the material. Before diving into memorization, take the time to comprehend the material thoroughly. Create a mental framework that captures the main ideas and connections between different pieces of information. Understanding the material serves as the bedrock for effective memory retention. Rather than relying solely on rote memorization, this approach allows you to build a more profound understanding, facilitating a more sustainable and integrated memory. Understanding the material before attempting to memorize it is like laying a strong foundation for a building. When you take the time to comprehend the subject matter, you're essentially creating a mental scaffold that supports the retention of information. Imagine learning a new language. Instead of just memorizing vocabulary words, understanding the grammar rules and the structure of sentences provides a framework that makes it easier to remember and apply what you've learned. Similarly, in any subject, grasping the underlying concepts and their relationships allows you to see the bigger picture, making it less likely to forget isolated facts. Tip 2. Use mnemonics. Mnemonics are powerful memory aids that enhance your ability to recall information effortlessly. Create acronyms, rhymes, or associations that link to the information you need to remember. These creative devices engage different parts of your brain, transforming the memorization process into an interactive and dynamic experience. By incorporating mnemonics, you tap into your brain's pattern recognition capabilities, making it easier to retrieve information when needed. Mnemonics act as clever shortcuts for your brain, turning the often tedious task of memorization into a more engaging and enjoyable process. When you create acronyms, rhymes, or associations, you're essentially providing your brain with unique handles to grasp and hold on to information. It's like giving each piece of data its own distinct tag that stands out in your memory. For instance, when learning a list of items, associating each item with a vivid image or a catchy phrase creates a mental connection that is far easier to recall than plain facts. This personalized approach stimulates creativity and imagination, turning the memorization journey into a playful and interactive exercise. Tip 3. Visualize concepts. Leverage the power of visualization to enrich your memory. Create mental images associated with key concepts, enhancing your ability to encode and retrieve information. Visualization adds a sensory layer to your memorization process, making the material more tangible and memorable. By engaging your mind's eye, you create a visual narrative that aids in the consolidation of information, fostering a more vivid and lasting memory. Visualizing concepts serves as a powerful tool to deepen your understanding and retention of information. When you create mental images tied to key concepts, you're essentially giving abstract ideas a concrete form in your mind. It's like turning words or facts into a mental movie, complete with vibrant scenes that represent the information. This not only makes the material more relatable, but also adds a sensory dimension to your learning experience. For example, if you're trying to remember a historical event, visualizing the key players, locations, and actions can create a vivid mental snapshot that encapsulates the essence of that event. Tip 4. Break it down. Divide complex material into smaller, manageable sections to facilitate a more systematic memorization approach. Concentrate on mastering one section before progressing to the next. This methodical breakdown not only makes the memorization process less overwhelming, but also allows for a deeper understanding of each component. By conquering smaller challenges, you build confidence and competence, laying the groundwork for more efficient and successful memorization. Breaking down complex material into smaller, digestible sections is akin to dismantling a big puzzle into more manageable pieces. This approach makes the learning process less intimidating, providing a clear roadmap for tackling each component. Imagine trying to memorize a lengthy passage. Dividing it into smaller sections enables you to focus on understanding and mastering one part at a time. This strategic breakdown not only reduces the cognitive load, but also allows for a more thorough exploration of the details within each section. It's like conquering one hill at a time instead of facing an entire mountain, making the journey towards memorization less daunting and more achievable. Tip 5. Associate with familiar concepts. Establish connections between new information and concepts or experiences you already know. This associative approach helps create mental links that aid in memory recall. By bridging the unfamiliar with the familiar, you integrate new knowledge into your existing mental framework. This technique not only facilitates a deeper understanding of the material, but also enhances the ease with which you can retrieve and apply that information in various contexts. Associating new information with familiar concepts is like building bridges between the known and the unknown in your mind. This approach allows you to leverage your existing knowledge as a foundation for understanding and remembering new material. For example, if you're learning a new scientific concept, connecting it to everyday experiences or familiar ideas makes it more relatable. This mental linking process creates a web of associations, weaving the novel information into the fabric of what you already know. As a result, the new knowledge becomes intertwined with your existing mental framework, making it easier to grasp and remember. Tip 6. Repetition with spaced intervals. While repetition is a key element of memorization, incorporating spaced intervals into your practice can significantly boost effectiveness. Instead of cramming information all at once, review the material at intervals over time. This technique reinforces memory traces, promoting long-term retention. Spaced repetition optimizes the brain's ability to encode and store information, ensuring that it remains accessible over an extended period. Repetition with spaced intervals is akin to watering a plant regularly to help it grow. Instead of overwhelming your brain with a single intensive study session, spacing out your reviews allows the information to take root more effectively. When you revisit the material at intervals, you're essentially signaling to your brain that this information is important and worth retaining. This spaced repetition technique takes advantage of the psychological principle known as the spacing effect, which highlights that information is better retained when learned over spaced intervals rather than in one continuous block. It's like reinforcing the memory traces, ensuring that they are not only created but strengthened over time. Tip 7. Teach the material. Teaching what you've learned to someone else is a powerful strategy for reinforcing your own understanding and memory. The act of explaining concepts forces you to articulate information in your own words, solidifying your grasp on the material. By teaching, you engage in a process of active recall, reinforcing neural pathways and enhancing your ability to retain and recall information more effectively. Teaching the material to someone else is like becoming the expert of your own knowledge. When you explain concepts to others, you are not only reinforcing your understanding, but also challenging yourself to articulate the information in a clear and coherent manner. This act of translating what you've learned into your own words requires a deeper level of comprehension, as you must organize and convey the material in a way that makes sense to someone who might not be familiar with it. It's akin to being your own teacher, and this process of teaching becomes a powerful tool for solidifying your grasp on the material. Tip 8. Utilize multisensory learning. Engage multiple senses while studying to enhance memory retention. Combine reading with listening, or write down information as you say it out loud. Multisensory learning involves different cognitive pathways, making the memorization process more robust. This approach creates a richer and more varied cognitive experience, strengthening the connections between the information and your memory. Utilizing multisensory learning is like providing your brain with a diverse set of tools to absorb and retain information. When you engage multiple senses during studying, you create a more immersive learning experience. Reading information while listening to it, or writing down details as you articulate them out loud, stimulates different cognitive pathways simultaneously. This multifaceted approach taps into the power of sensory diversity, making the memorization process more robust. It's akin to enriching your study environment with a variety of colors, textures, and sounds, creating a mental landscape that is more likely to capture and retain the information. Bonus tip 9. Get adequate sleep. Quality sleep is essential for optimal cognitive function and memory consolidation. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of sleep each night to ensure that your brain can effectively process and store the information you've learned. During sleep, the brain strengthens neural connections, aiding in the transfer of information from short-term to long-term memory. Lack of sleep can impair memory, attention, and learning, so prioritize a good night's sleep to maximize your memorization efforts. Getting adequate sleep is like giving your brain the necessary time to organize and file away the information you've acquired throughout the day. When you aim for 7 to 9 hours of sleep each night, you provide your brain with the opportunity to undergo crucial processes that support memory consolidation. During the different stages of sleep, particularly in the deeper stages like slow-wave sleep, the brain strengthens neural connections and transfers information from short-term to long-term memory. It's as if your brain is filing away the day's lessons and experiences, ensuring they become part of your lasting memory. Now check out this video and watch how to think clearly, 9 ways to unlock your mind's potential. Also, subscribe to the channel so we can help you with productivity regularly. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.